Hi all, it's Cindy's art page. So good to have you with me today. Listen, we're going to paint an abstract ocean wave, a beach wave. And I took a reference picture off of Unsplash. Unsplash.com is a great place to visit. So I started off this picture and I sketched my beach, and then I began to use modeling paste and crackling paste. That was the modeling paste. And what I'm going to use is a little spatula, a little paint palette spatula, and I am simply putting some of that modeling paste where the foam of the wave is towards the front. I love it because it adds some 3D texture to the painting, and you'll see as this picture develops, we'll do it first in abstract and then we're going to do it with more of a realistic taste. So this is so much fun stuff to play with. And modeling paste, once you get it down, you want to make sure that you let it sit for 24 hours and let it dry. As I'm finishing up these waves, I'm going to begin to add in crackling paste on the bottom. And I used the crackling paste, but I don't think I used it as thickly as I would want to in future paintings. So it didn't have a lot of crackling texture to it, but it was a lot of fun to work with. So you gotta play, gotta have fun. One of the things you want to make sure you do with your painting is to get it wet, and don't be afraid of that. I really wet this down and let that water sit and worked it and worked it and worked it. And then I began to put this nice beautiful horizon blue Holbein color in. And you can see I'm using a quill brush and I'm simply putting paint on it. A quill brush is a lot of fun to use because it's got a really cool tip to it. I can bend this brush, I can shape it around different ways. It comes back into this beautiful quill, and I always think of quill like calligraphy because you could use it for that. So my paper is really wet and I'm letting my paint go down and spread, and I want it to blend in with one another. But one of the things when you look at the reference photo that I use, you have these beautiful dark blue like rocks that are way down deep inside the painting or inside the ocean, and so I'm letting this water spread out and blend by itself without me doing all of the work. And you can see I'm working around some of the modeling paste, and I'm going to try to preserve a lot of that strong white for the foam. So where I see a lot of modeling paste, I'm going to reserve it and keep it towards the foam. The other thing that I want to mention is that I am painting a little bit over top of the modeling paste. Don't be afraid to do that, because if I preserve 100% white, I'm going to have to go back over it and still add some more shade into it. Water is not like perfectly white when it's foaming. You've got to have other colors and contrasts in it. So just play, play, play. I've added enough color in on this and let this color bleed. I let that entire paper dry, and then you can see I'm taking a folded piece of paper. I have Brusho powder on it. So this Brusho with Color Craft, I'm playing a lot with that, and I have the product listed down below in my comment section so you can take a look at it. You do not need much of this powder. I see a lot of videos out there that can use a lot of concentration concentration, and they'll use a concentration of the powder, and then you could see how the color just bursts forth, and I love that. For me, I think I want to use a little bit of the Brusho, and I'm working in the Brusho right here with my paintbrush, making sure that this paper is wet. And you can see the process that I did was I folded that piece of paper, I tapped Brusho on top of that paper, and then I took this folded piece, you can see right here, and I'm dropping the Brusho where I want it. It's a little bit more control. And I'll tap the paper, I'll do different things. And see how I'm squirting that water. The squirt bottle that I'm using is not a very fine mist. A fine mist is going to put it evenly around. This one has more dots in it. Like when I squirt it, it's splotchy. It's putting out big drops and small drops, and I like that because it makes me have variety in the paper. So I'm working on the Brusho, working that in, letting it dry, and then I'm going to move on to adding more detail into this picture. I'm ready to add in some shading first around the beach wave, and every time you've got a wave that's crashing on the beach, there's a little line of gray that comes in